38 in the name of Deputy Dessie Ellis. Sorry, we're out of time. We're out of time. Deputy Dessie Ellis. Thank you. There was 12 minutes on that question, for those two questions.
The Pyrite report, which contains 24 interrelated recommendations covering a wide range of issues, provides a comprehensive framework to enable me and the other stakeholders to make progress towards providing solutions for homeowners. Implementation of many of the recommendations requires the involvement and cooperation of a number of stakeholders and other bodies. My department and I will be working to achieve progress on implementation of those recommendations as quickly as possible. The report recommends engagement by those stakeholders in processes which will provide solutions for homeowners. My preferred approach to solutions for homeowners is for responsible stakeholders to take ownership of the problem and work with the department to provide an industry-led solution to the problem. I have already begun a consultation process with key stakeholders and have given them until the end of this month to come back to me with credible solutions. In the absence of a voluntary approach in this regard, I will have to consider an imposed solution along the lines recommended in the report in relation to the imposition of a levy. The National Standards Authority of Ireland has begun working on the development of a testing protocol and a method statement for remediation work. I am hopeful that this work will be completed quickly. The recently published draft Building Control Amendment regulations provide for the introduction of mandatory certificates of compliance as recommended by the panel, and the Department has had discussions with the CIF in relation to the establishment of a registration process for builders and contractors.
Deputy Ellis.
Thanks, Minister. I know it's nearly 3 months now since the report came back, and it was a good report with a lot of good recommendations. And many of them, of course, is to do with levies on the building industry, the insurances, and other groups such as the quarries. This levy would take a long time if it came to fruition. This levy would take a long time to build up. And one of the big issues is the situation is so serious now. They've estimated in this report there's 12,000 homes affected. There's probably an awful lot more in my estimation. And that's, in general terms, we're talking about private homes and not about the local authority ones and the ones that are out there as well. So we have a considerable amount of more. I think a number of things I would like to ask the Minister in regards to this. First off, have they engaged? You did give them till September, the CIF, the Irish Concrete Federation, Home Bond and other stakeholders to come back. Have any of them come back so far with any idea that they're going to contribute or to help out or in some way bail out the people who are badly affected? Will legislation be required at any stage in relation to this? And will local authorities who are looking for funding to do the remedial works, will they be availed of through this fund? Will it come from this fund, or will that come from local government funding? And I think also that we initially, before this can move any further, we do need funding, central government funding, to start this off.
Sorry,
to get it moving. And I'm asking, will it be your intention to put forward a government fund of some description, and that can be taken out of the levies if that so happens down the road?
Thank you. Minister. Well, first of all, I concur. I think Deputy Ellis realises that the state is not liable in this matter, and there's case law to show that. So I don't know why the government would be actually putting money into a system where they're not liable. But we're facilitating a process whereby we're trying to help the homeowners who, through no fault of theirs, have been found in a difficult situation arising from this pyrite problem. In the report, it is estimated that 850 dwellings certainly currently have a claim with a guarantee provider, and they are the ones that are in serious need of remediation immediately. There are about 10,300 that could be, that the panel estimated could have future potential exposure to the pyrite problems. And we are developing a test through the NSAI to ensure that we are in a position to identify, of those 10,300, what the extent of the problem is, or to a greater or lesser extent. But I have given the stakeholders until the end of the month to come back with proposals, and I'm prepared to wait, obviously, till the end of the month to see if there will be proposals. But I can assure the Deputy that I will be implementing a new set of proposals if legislation is required, I will bring that forward as quickly as possible in order to ensure that we have funds from the industry to carry out the remediation of those houses that urgently need remediation at the moment.
Deputy Ellis?
Sir, I understand there's 850 immediately and with very significant damage. I'm well aware of that. And the situation is so serious that this needs urgent attention. And will you stick by your deadline of September? Will you then impose on the industries in question a mechanism to deal with this?
Thank you.
And will, as a matter, will this, if there was legislation of some description required, will it be backdated? There's not going to be an argument to say that all these things happened in the past. From here on now, things will be okay.
Thank you, Deputy.
So I'm just worried that that might happen.
Minister?
Well, if I wanted to wash my hands of the particular problem, I would have done so a long time ago, even though the state is not liable. So I have, with the expertise of the panel, developed a set of recommendations that I'm anxious to implement on behalf of the homeowners. So I think I would like to think that the stakeholders that I've consulted with will be positive in the response and come forward with proposals. But I want to assure the Deputy that I am determined to help the homeowners by imposing a solution if I don't get one on a voluntary basis.
Thank you very